John Locke's view on the revolution. John Locke's advocacy for revolution as a legitimate political act is deeply rooted in his philosophical principles and historical context. As an empiricist who witnessed the turbulence of 17th-century England, the English Civil War, Cromwell's rule, and the Glorious Revolution, he rejected divine right absolutism, asserting that governments exist solely by the consent of the governed. His seminal work, Two Treatises of Government, framed revolution not as chaos but as a rational ethical response to tyranny, anchored in natural rights, life, liberty, and property, and the social contract's conditional authority. Locke argued that governments function as fiduciary trusts created to protect rights. When rulers violate these natural rights through tyranny, oppression, or arbitrary law, revolution becomes a moral duty to restore justice. Unlike Hobbes, who feared the state of nature, Locke saw revolution as a corrective mechanism rather than anarchy. His criteria for revolt were strict, requiring systemic rights violations rather than transient grievances. This pragmatism aimed to prevent frivolous rebellions while ensuring accountability. Thomas Hobbes in Leviathan deemed revolution destabilizing, prioritizing order over liberty. Edmund Burke, in Reflections on the Revolution in France, warned that rights-based revolutions risked chaos, undermining social order and dismantling long-standing traditions essential for societal cohesion. David Hume dismissed Locke's social contract as ahistorical, arguing that most governments arise from conquest, not consent. Hannah Arendt later noted that revolutions often fail to institutionalize freedom, leading to new tyrannies. Other critics suggest Locke's individualistic focus neglects the complex interplay of social forces and risks in dismantling institutions. Supporters assert his theory empowers citizens to reclaim dignity and defend against injustice when all other remedies fail. This perspective emphasizes that legitimate authority must respect natural rights, making revolution justifiable under extreme circumstances. Locke's framework remains vital for three reasons. First, his emphasis on conditional sovereignty underpins modern constitutionalism, enabling legal checks on power. Second, his linkage of revolution to systemic injustice legitimized anti-colonial and civil rights movements. Third, by grounding authority in consent, he democratized governance, inspiring documents like the U.S. Declaration of Independence. Critics like Burke overlooked that Locke viewed revolution as a last resort, not a first option. His empiricism ensured that rebellion was context-specific rather than ideological. Locke's defense of revolution, though debated, transformed political thought by making governance answerable to the governed. While Hobbes and Burke highlight the risks of instability, Locke's nuanced criteria, balancing moral imperative with pragmatic restraint, ensure his ideas endure. In an era of authoritarian resurgence, his vision of revolution as a restorative act remains a cornerstone of democratic accountability and ethical statecraft.